Hi, Eddie Kiddell. You join me today on the banks of the River Isle near Hatton in Holland. Lovely piece of river, and ideal to try and show you what we're going to catch on today, which is cheese. When I first came to Holland, it's probably 5 years ago now, one of the things I learned very quickly was to fish with cheese on a hair rig, and I caught a lot of fish on it since. Yeah, I catch on maggot out here, catch on pellet, catch on luncheon meat, but I still can say that my best fish have definitely come on cheese. So let's see if I can show you how to fish with a piece of cheese. Basically, we're going to hair rig it. Most important thing first is what cheese you're going to use. Today I've got 3 different sorts of cheese. Just a plain, old or mature cheese. If you buy it out here, it says old on the packet, but it means a mature cheese. You need that because young cheese has not got the flavour and also is much softer and harder to keep on the hook. On top of that, I've got some old cheese with cumin seeds in it. Great, almost smells a bit curry-y almost, but the cumin seeds are very good. And one of my favourites, which is a garlic flavoured cheese. First of all, what you've got to do is cut yourself a piece of cheese that you can hair rig. The best thing to do is the heart of the cheese. This piece of the cheese is no good to you really. You can do things with it, but the best thing for that is to make yourself something to go in your ground bait or in your feeder. You can either dice it up and put it in your ground bait, or you can cut a nice piece off, sharp knife, cut a nice piece off and jam it in your feeder, and that works really well as an attractor. That'll stay in there. Pack a bit of ground bait or hemp around it, and you've got an instant attractor. A few bits will leak off, but most importantly the flavour will leak off. These bits will wash off and attract a few fish. Or you can dice it up and put it in with a ground bait, and I'll show you that in a minute too. Just a few dice bits in with a ground bait with a few pellets with it is good. That leaves you with the outside of the cheese, and what you've got is a skin on it, and then under that a rind. So just pull that bit of skin off, cut ourselves a decent piece off. Now I don't like to fish with squares. What I'd like to do now is turn that into something a little bit better than a square. So take the corners off of it. All them bits I'll cut off can actually go into the ground bait, and from there on you can either cut it a bit longer, cut it a bit more, but you want to end up with a piece something like that. And how I've done that, I've hair rigged that now. You can see the hook is just about touching it. I've got a size 10 hook today. I might use a size 8 would be the biggest. So roughly an 8 or a 10. Decent strong hook, hair rigged. Now the key thing with the hair rigging is when you put it on the baiting needle, this piece I just cut, where the rind is the tough bit. Now you would think that you would put that on, so you put that where the stop goes, but actually you put it the other way around. So you go through like that, and then pull it onto the hair rig and put your stop under the soft piece as there. So here, there's the rind, the tough bit, there's the stop. In this case it's an Avid sight stop, but you can use, I wouldn't recommend boilie stops, they're not big enough, but you can use these sort of sight stops. A big pellet stop, these are also good. Imitation corn stops, they're very good, because you've also got an attraction and possibly a piece of corn as well. In this case that's a little sight stop, and you can see what happens now where that hair, when the bait is in the water, where that hair keeps moving, the rind stops it cutting into the cheese. So that definitely keeps it on the hook a lot better. And you can have 3 or 4 casts without any problem at all, without that coming off. I tend to change it every first or second cast if I can, because the flavour's gone out of it and it's become a bit bleached. But that works very well, and you wouldn't have a problem losing your cheese off the hook. What we've got to do now is see if we can catch a fish with it. Like a good fish, hooked on the cheese. Let's see if we can get it out now. Unfortunately I can't show you the piece of cheese because that's come off. It's hooked nicely. Let's get that hook out.
Get the rig out of the way. What a lovely fish. Absolutely fat as anything. Really nice fish. And there he goes. Let's see if we can catch another one.
Okay, second fish of the day, another cracking bite, and this time you can see the cheese nicely in the mouth. Feel with that, good little tip there, just feel your line. That line there is damaged, just there. We're going to need to change that hook length. He's took us over the rocks. You can see the little trick there with a feeder with a bigger piece of cheese stuck in the middle. That's done the trick this time. Been fishing now a couple of hours, but that's what I'd expect. We had a fish early, and this is the second fish of the day. £1 3/4 rods I'm using today. Quite forgiving. A lot of people use a lot heavier rods, but there's no need. These, on this situation, £1 3/4 is fine. The bigger rivers, yeah, maybe you want to use a bit heavier, but these £1 3/4 today are fantastic for this job. I think the fish is just about ready. It's not such a big fish as we've seen before, but still a nice fish. And in the net. Okay, let's look first of all at filling the feeder. As I said, you can either put a big chunk of cheese inside the feeder, or you can dice some of them soft bits, the heart of the cheese, stick them in your ground bait. In this case it's a Sonia Bates hemp and honey crush with a few pellets with it. And what you can do is just fill your feeder, bring a few of them bits of cheese in with it as you go. So once that starts to break up, it's taking a nice few little pieces of cheese down the river and attracting the fish to it. I'm not sure which method is the best. I've caught both ways. Maybe when you start the session, start like this with a few free offerings going in, and as the session progresses, maybe a good lump of cheese in there, so you're not feeding them so much anymore, but you're still attracting them. And I think that would probably be the way to attack it. Let's have a look at just getting this cheese on the hair rig for you as well. Just run you through that again. Remember what I said, the rind side and the soft side. You can see that's quite a bit tougher there than what it is there. That's very important, that that rind side goes closest to the hook. So push the baiting needle through, bring the hook up onto the baiting needle, slide the cheese up, tight to the hook for a minute or two. Don't worry about all them little bits flaking off, that's ideal, because once that's in the water they're going to flake off. Just get the pellet stop. In this case that's one of the Avid sight stops. Pull that in, into the cheese, and hey presto. Okay, well we saved the best till last. Jitska, who's been doing all the camera work and fishing with us today, has had the last fish of the day on her rod, which is great. And what a corking fish, look at that. That's the 5th barbel of the day, all on cheese, exactly as we demonstrated to you. Definitely the best fish of the day. What an absolute corker of a fish. Yeah, that's the 5th fish of the day, all on cheese, and what can you say? Look at that. Absolutely stunning fish. River Isle here at Hattem in Holland, and we've had a cracking day. Look forward to seeing you on the bank sometime.